This is interesting because we're going from the domain of agentic AI and we're trying to take it to how consumers already use search, marry them in the context of retail. How does it work and why is it important?
Yeah, so agentic tech is, relatively new, and we're really focusing on bringing agentic AI for consumer problems that really matter to consumers. And so, for example, taking the tedious parts of shopping and having agentic AI, which is AI that does things on behalf of the user. So, for example, with price tracking, we have the scenario of you see a product, maybe the price is too high, you can track the price, and we will auto buy the product for you. On the other hand, for example, let's say you have a particular product, let's say Labubu is one of the products of the season and you want to find it near you. It will actually make all the calling for you for nearby businesses and tell you whether it's in stock.
Do you have any evidence or data that this technology change results in an actual purchase or that increases the likelihood that the consumer goes through with it?
I mean, anecdotally, we do see that consumers are really loving this in the sense that both consumers and merchants, actually, especially for the agentic calling, because it's allowing consumers to have more confidence, let's say, that the product is actually in store.
There are some that perhaps don't want others' agents coming and making purchases. They want that direct relationship. We've seen reports of Amazon doing a cease and desist on Perplexity because of payments being made. How do you think you'll navigate the ecosystem in that way, Lilian?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think all of this agentic technology is very nascent. And again, at Google, we're really starting with what are those real problems that consumers have and always giving consumers control of the experience. So in the agentic checkout, for example, as I mentioned, we're starting with a real user need, right? Which is that a lot of times people will see a product, maybe it's too expensive. We let you track the price of the product. We alert you when the product has reached that price. And then you can auto buy, essentially, have Google buy that product for you on your behalf. And in this case, for the merchant, it's good in the sense that, maybe they would have lost that customer otherwise, right? Maybe they weren't ready to buy it at that price. And so we think this is good for merchants and also for consumers.
On the back end, Lilian, we've got a beautifully geeky audience. What is it that you've managed to do in the last few months, years, that has just allowed for this, that is now seeing the agents able to run free and make purchases on one's behalf safely?
Yeah, I think, again, so a lot of this is new. I will say that, on the agentic calling piece, we have been doing things like duplex, which you may or may not be familiar with, which is where we're using AI to essentially call a business on your behalf for some years, actually, since 2018, I think.
For restaurants, you've been doing it for me for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. On the calling piece, I think we've been doing this for a long time, and we're really finding real user needs, for tedious parts of shopping where we think it can help. On the agentic calling piece, also tracking the price is something that we've done over some time. This year, we've actually gotten down to the variant level. So, for example, if you see a shoe that you like, it really matters the size and the color of the shoe. And so now we're able to agentically, really track that price. And then the buying, really what we're doing there is we are instantiating a browser and really adding a product to the cart on the merchant site and letting you buy it.
The question is always what happens next and how is this going to go? At the enterprise scale, the issue with agentic AI is that you need many agents to be able to communicate with one another. In fact, in the consumer, think about an airline app, for example, and they maybe use a different software platform to book the flight originally. Are you encountering those problems, Gemini and what's outside of Google's control?
I would say that it's still nascent. So today, for example, a lot of our merchants and the way that they show up is actually through relationships that we developed over the years. So we have something called the shopping graph, which is 50 billion product listings of all these merchants around the world. But as you say, over time, potentially you'll imagine a world where a merchant has an agent and we will be interacting between the Gemini agent and that agent as well.